Hey YouTube family, Be Righteous here, and I'd like to share a few thoughts on how balancing should be and the effect that TU6 has had on this game so far. I started my channel a little bit before TU6 was released. Shortly after that, I posted a video entitled Game Changing Fixes. Not many of you saw that video, but it was a comprehensive discussion on how I felt about the upcoming changes to the game. It mainly covered the huge changes of 2 gear sets, ongoing, directive, and hardwired. Before the changes went into effect, those gear sets were rarely used, so the fixes were well needed. Now those gear sets are a normal part of creating builds. The first build I made was dropped the day after TU6, which was entitled Burn and Bleed. It was actually a combination of both gear sets together. The build I released after that was entitled Predators Mark 2.0, and that's my most viewed video to date. Anyways, I'm just saying I was very excited and optimistic about this patch because it was not only those gear sets the devs were fixing, but an overhaul of changes we would see. In the midst of all the excitement, in other words, the honeymoon phase, we didn't realize how much of a problem the update actually was. At first, I thought the game might actually be ready to progress with minimal issues, but the fact is that we have yet another huge patch to try and fix the game. Again, on the previous state of the game, there were some screenshots shown implicating to me that there would possibly be a recalibration station. Now, I made a community post about this a few weeks back, and there were a lot of varying opinions. Some agreed with me, some didn't, saying that what would be the purpose of grinding if eventually everything would be maxed out? Well, to me, I personally feel like it's not fair to some players who have certain gear based on them getting lucky for 1 week they happen to be on playing. For example, the 30% total armor chest piece and also the 20% total armor backpack. I will agree that one main purpose of grinding is to find that god roll piece, but that's just one aspect of the grind, you know? And by the way, you're never gonna find a piece the likes of 30% total anything anymore. I haven't found anything, have you? But yeah, that's just one aspect of the grind. The other part is finding the right combinations of gear you want. That's how it was in Div 1. The idea of one player with 500k armor against someone with 400k armor is the deciding factor on who wins the 1v1 is ridiculous to me. It should never be that way. The deciding factor should be who was better skilled in combat. And that is exactly what I believe the optimization will accomplish. Now, I also think that this will work even better if the devs reverted back to similarly how the Division 1 system worked. The concept of firearms, stamina, and electronics, for those who don't know. And Frederick Thylander did respond to a tweet where someone inquired about this. He stated that, and I quote, "They work a little similar to firearms, stamina, electronics, except that they are actual real numbers that don't need to be converted. And there's no talent requirements." So what this sounds like to me is that they're trying to revert back to the old system from the Division 1. And this will work wonders for this game. And let me tell you why. With the old system of firearms, stamina, electronics, this made it so that whatever stat you invested mostly in is what you are. If you wanted to be a tank, then you invest in stamina. If you wanted to be DPS and deal massive damage, then you invest in firearms. If you wanted strong skills, you invest in electronics. And what this did was by default make it impossible for you to have everything, which is the problem we have right now. Because the stats were allocated to what you invested in. And what he meant by talent requirements being removed was that the only requirement was within the stats. For example, if you wanted to use Berserk, then you would need, let's say, 6,000 firearms. Or if you want to use On the Ropes, then you would need maybe 7,000 firearms. And the max for each stat was 9,000. So you see where I'm going with this. In the end of it, I sincerely believe that a system like this would change the game for the better, and then they will be able to get back to focusing on actually providing more replayable content rather than just fixing the game over and over again. Let me know down in the comments what you think about this discussion. I would really like to know, and tell me if you think that this is a change that's good for the game or bad for the game. If you enjoyed this and want to hear more, then please drop a like and hit that subscribe button. I'll see you in the next discussion. Be right out.